The people of Africa have risen. Yes, the land of the free has spoken, and this time it's personal. A revolution is brewing in our streets, and it's a revolution of ideas, of Black consciousness and Pan-Africanism. It's a continuation of the work of our forefathers, those who dared to dream of a united Africa, a truly free Africa. Our story starts in the 1920s Ethiopia with the legendary Haile Selassie, a man whose name echoed through generations. He was more than a king. He was a beacon of hope. And his message, it wasn't just for Ethiopians, it was for every Black person on the planet. At the Pan-African Congress in 1923, he stood tall and proclaimed, "The African is not satisfied with the old colonial state of things. He wants full freedom and independence." His words were a clarion call, a rallying cry that resonated with millions. For the first time, Africans from different lands, different tribes, and different walks of life were uniting under one banner, demanding respect, dignity, and self-determination. They were saying, "We are not here at the sufferance of any white man. We are here because we are the children of Ham, the sons of Africa, and the grandchildren of the sun." And Selassie, he was their leader, their voice echoing the sentiment of an entire continent. He declared, "The African is not a child that can be led by the hand. He will walk by himself," and walk he did. From Ghana to Nigeria to South Africa, the spirit of Pan-Africanism ignited a fire. In Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, the charismatic leader, led the Gold Coast to independence, becoming the first sub-Saharan African country to break free. In Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Zik of Africa, championed the cause, ending British colonial rule and giving birth to a new nation. And then there was Jomo Kenyatta, the father of Kenya, who, after years of struggle and sacrifice, steered Kenya towards independence, shaking off the shackles of colonialism. They weren't just leaders, they were symbols of a new dawn. Their victories were a testament to the power of unity. As Sékou Touré, the Guinean leader, famously said, "The heads of the African states are like stars in the sky. If one goes out, others can shine even brighter." But let's rewind back to Haile Selassie's era. While many African nations were yearning for independence, Ethiopia, under Selassie's leadership, had already been free for centuries. But freedom, as we know, isn't a destination. It's a continuous journey. And for Africa, that journey was far from over. The scars of colonialism ran deep, and the continent was still grappling with the legacy of exploitation and division. There was poverty, there was disease, and there was a sense of hopelessness that seemed to hang over the horizon. But Selassie, he refused to accept this narrative. He envisioned a different future for Africa, a future where the continent wasn't just free, but was also prosperous, united and respected on the global stage. His dream was nothing short of monumental, a blueprint for continental unity. In 1963, as the world watched, he made a historic speech at the Organization of African Unity, OAU, now known as the African Union. His words were powerful, passionate, and prophetic. He called for the union of all African states, a union that would pave the way for collective progress and shared prosperity. He emphasized that this unity wasn't just a political alliance, it was a spiritual imperative. And so the OAU was born, symbolizing the coming together of 32 African nations, each bringing its unique rhythm to the symphony of unity. However, the road to unity, much like the road to freedom, was fraught with challenges. Conflicts, coups, and internal divisions threatened to overshadow Selassie's dream. But his vision persisted, kept alive by the indomitable spirit of the African people. Even when tragedy struck and Selassie was overthrown in a military coup in 1975, his dream didn't die. It was carried forward by those who believed in a united, independent Africa. Fast forward to today. The year is 2023, and Africa is at a pivotal moment. The challenges are different, but the spirit of resilience and the pursuit of true freedom remain the same. Let me take you on a journey across the continent. Our first stop is Mali, where the story began in 2020. 2 military coups in less than a year shook the nation. It was a clear message from the people, a cry for change. They wanted a system that worked for them, not against them. Their anger was palpable, their determination evident. And in the midst of it all, the echoes of Haile Selassie's words rang true. He had warned about the dangers of foreign interference and exploitation, saying Ethiopia will never again be a colony, a protectorate, or a dependency of any nation or group of nations. That warning was echoed by the Malian people as they took a stand against both external and internal forces that sought to control their destiny. Then we head to Niger, where another coup unfolded. President Mohamed Bazoum, who came to power promising reform and democracy, found himself ousted in a palace coup. The leader of the coup, General Abdourahmane Chiani, a former Presidential Guard commander, declared himself the head of a transitional government, citing public discontent over Bazoum's policies as the reason for the takeover. It's a familiar story, isn't it? The people rising against a leader they believe is no longer serving their interests. And as the crisis in Niger deepened, neighboring countries and regional organizations stepped in, each with their own interests at play. But at the heart of it all were the people of Niger demanding a say in their own governance, a right that every citizen of an independent nation should have. And finally, we come to Burkina Faso, where 2 coups in 8 months sent shockwaves across the region. The first coup in January 2022 ousted President Roch-Marc Christian Kabore amid growing frustration over his handling of a worsening security crisis and dissatisfaction with his leadership in general. Then, in September of the same year, the dissatisfaction continued, leading to another coup. It was as if the people of Burkina Faso were saying, "We won't be silenced. We will keep fighting until we get it right." Each of these stories is unique, yet they share a common thread. A thread that runs through the tapestry of African history, a thread that speaks of courage, resilience, and the unyielding pursuit of freedom and dignity. In Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, we saw ordinary citizens standing up against injustice, against exploitation, and against leaders who no longer represented their interests. They took to the streets, not with weapons, but with a powerful force, the power of their voices, the power of their unity, and the power of their collective will. These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a larger movement, a movement that echoes the sentiments of millions across the continent. In South Africa, the land of struggle and triumph, the people have been on the front lines. Their fight against apartheid was a testament to their courage. Leaders like Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu emerged as beacons of hope. And when democracy dawned, there was a new challenge, rebuilding a nation divided along racial lines. The African National Congress, ANC, led the charge, working tirelessly to heal the wounds of the past and create a society based on equality and justice. It's a legacy that continues today as South Africa grapples with issues of inequality and corruption, reminding us that the struggle for freedom is a continuous one. In Nigeria, the giant of Africa, there have been whispers of discontent. For decades, the country has faced challenges ranging from religious conflicts to ethnic tensions and a struggling economy. Yet the people of Nigeria have shown remarkable resilience. Leaders like Chinua Achebe and Wole Soyinka have used their voices to address social issues and promote democracy. And let's not forget about Egypt, the cradle of civilization. It's a land that has witnessed some of the most significant moments in human history. In recent times, it's been a battleground between tradition and modernity. Leaders like Mohamed Morsi represented a new generation of Egyptians, while figures like Abdel Fattah el-Sisi embodied the desire for stability and security. As we conclude this journey, let's return to Haile Selassie's words. He once said, "If peace is to reign in the world, it must begin with the African continent." His vision was one of a united, peaceful Africa, and in the face of today's challenges, his words resonate even louder. The conflicts, the instability, and the power struggles in different parts of Africa are not just setbacks, they're wake-up calls. They're telling us that we need to do better. We need to work harder to create a future that reflects Selassie's dream, a future where the African continent is not just free, but is also united, prosperous, and at peace with itself. The story of Africa is a story of resilience, of courage, and of the unwavering pursuit of freedom. It's a story that continues to evolve, to grow, and to inspire. So yes, the people of Africa have risen. They've risen to carry on the legacy of their forefathers, to build on the foundation laid by giants like Haile Selassie. And they're doing it with the same dream that has guided them through centuries of struggle. The dream of a united, free, and prosperous Africa.